hit record for 10.
Okay.
All right. Well, everybody, all we can do is study and pray. That's where we're at. The prayer is probably the better option at this point.
I read that you won't find out for a while also.
8 weeks, I said, I think. Oh, tonight we have our call, our big study group call, right?
Gosh, I'd forgotten that.
Yeah, it's tonight. Yeah. Maybe they'll have some good pointers again. I really like Sherry. Is that her name? Sherry? No.
Sherry, yeah. Oh, yeah, there it is. And you're right. Oh, I'd forgotten that. I'm glad you said that.
I'm glad I could help with something.
You help with a lot of things.
I don't know about that. But so do we want to go over your questions first, Phyllis? Since mine's still not coming up.
We can do anybody's. I am stuck on Will's question about the 3 types of legal whatever.
Too, I looked it up. I don't remember him reading that at all in our notes, and I read everything, I thought. Except that one document I gave up. I'm like the HIPAA one. I'm like, it was probably 30 pages. I'm like, basically, I mean, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, it gets a little sticky.
Yeah, redundant.
Yeah, that question was from our our other course, our Dr. Sears course.
Oh, was it? Okay, well, I haven't taken that one in a couple years.
That was notes in there in the advanced class.
Okay, well, I haven't taken that advanced class in a couple years, so I could. So what is the answer, Will?
Shall we just do Will's questions?
Sure.
Is oh yeah, you wanted to start with my question?
We'll just start with yours. We'll go backwards. We're not starting the last one.
Let me just
oh goodness.
Yeah, let's start with yours.
And is that so important to know? I mean, I don't know.
It isn't in a sense of it can lead to some other questions that they may ask. They might not ask that particularly.
Okay.
But all right. So from coaching structure, I hope I got these under the right categories. I wrote which of the following steps are appropriate for early stage planning coaching sessions? A, designing a wellness vision. B, using the SMART goal planning system. C, using appreciative questions. D, both A and C, or E, both B and A.
I thought they were all of them, but if I had to pick, I was thinking E. I don't know.
And I was thinking D.
Okay.
Yeah, I was thinking D as well.
Yeah, so the answer is D. I made that up, but for me,
so you don't use SMART goals when you first start.
No, that's after. I'm talking about like in the initial when you're just
like
so, yeah, like the first couple 3 times or whatever. You have to build that wellness vision first, or using
right,
a bubble sheet, things like that first.
Okay.
And that was in our advanced coaching as well, where they talk about that and they highlight the things that you should go over first.
Right. Okay. Makes sense. Patient questions and.
So yeah, you're supposed to just be like having that vision versus you're not supposed to be like trying to solve anything really.
Or set any kind of goals at that point.
Right.
And that right there is where reading that question closely, that's where I get in trouble every time because I don't read it close enough.
Yeah.
I did that time, but boy, most of the time I don't catch stuff.
All right. The next one I took from somewhere. A 79-year-old man meets with the coach at his primary care provider's office for his second session. He was recently diagnosed with cardiovascular disease and wants to make lifestyle changes to decrease his risk factors. Today, he is ready to set small, manageable goals. He wants to start making a grocery list so he can prepare more meals at home. The coach asked the client, what might get in the way of the goal? The client responds, I'm afraid I will forget to make the list over the weekend. Which of the following is the most appropriate response by the coach? It sounds like you are having issues with your memory. B, people your age often forget. C, what is the worst that could happen if you forget the list? D, you are worried about not following through with your goal because you might forget. E, your list is really going to set you up for success.
I chose D as in dog.
Yeah, me as well. I was stuck because I was like, thinking about C and E as well, but I think C and E are kind of disregarding like we're not actually responding to what he just said. Like it's more of like, not put that aside, like you're still gonna do good, but he's like worried. So you like want to first reflect that he's worried. And then obviously you wouldn't want to stick on that forever, but I think you
Right.
still need to ask, like reflect that he's feeling that.
Right. Yeah, the answer is D. Yeah, you got to read it closely, because you could pick E, but then like you said, you're not being empathetic to his concerns also. You're not acknowledging them. All right, health and wellness. Any questions about that one? All right. After undergoing and this actually I think I took from the MWBC website, actually, both of those, this one as well. After undergoing a biometric screening at his company's annual health fair, a 30-year-old man meets with the nurse coach for a 15-minute laser coaching session to review his results. He is 188 centimeters, 6'2" tall, and weighs 84.8 kilograms. His BMI is 24 kilograms. His blood pressure is 134/84, and his fasting blood sugar level is 81. Which of the following findings is outside of the normal range for this client? Blood pressure, sugar level, BMI, or weight?
I'd put blood pressure.
Same.
A.
Correct. And why is that the answer?
Because his blood pressure is above normal.
Yeah. And what about all the other?
They seem to be okay. Yeah.
All right. And then the big question here, name of 3 different types of liability law formats. So the answer is statutory. And statutory has to do with laws that are created by the state or federal statute. That would be HIPAA. Contractual is the next one. So that's created by the terms of an agreement. So if you have an agreement with your client, that'd be contractual. And then tort is the third one. That's the body of law that governs personal injury. So that's like your malpractice, your misrepresentation suits, your non-disclosure, your false claims, that kind of stuff. So it's statutory, contractual, and tort.
Well, there you go.
All
So
right.
the way you can look at it is on the state level, or state or federal level, on your personal level with that client, and then on a law level.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, I didn't even get, when I reviewed, didn't even get to that level. So thank you, Will.
Yeah. I didn't even think about that one. Agreement with the client. Okay. Contract.
Written or applied, also could be an applied thing as well. Or implied.
All right. Jan, you want to do yours?
Why don't we do mine second? Because Sarah's asking for something. Hold on just a second.
Okay. Emma, if you sent us something, we didn't see it.
I started creating them and then I just got so like caught up in actually like studying the stuff. I didn't make any other ones, but I had one. Let me find it.
What happened?
Totally understand.
Yeah, because for some reason, the best way for me to study is just to write things over and over again. And so like I've been writing the brain dumps several times. And okay, let's see what's in here.
It helps me to remember to do that too. So
Any other brain dumps besides the one that she showed us, or what do you guys think?
I have a stack of cards this thick.
Yeah, but you're not writing them as a brain dump, I hope. Oh my gosh.
No, I'm not writing all of that over and over, but the doable I have done
Yes.
100 times.
Yes, at least. Or I did at least do one a day since she taught us how to do it. So I figured that'll be enough.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be tough remembering all that stuff. When it comes to the biometrics, I think, and I may be wrong on my focus, but I'm really focusing on the levels that are just like off the charts, like, you know, those where as far as blood pressure goes and that kind of stuff. And I'm hoping that will trigger me to remember if you know one of them, then you can kind of identify what's going to be at risk and what's going to be good. That makes sense to you guys?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Versus trying to remember every single level, I think is tough.
Yeah. Do you think we're gonna need that whole chart though? That's pretty, and I wrote my cards up on all that, but to know all of that, will they ask us?
Right, that's what I mean. I think you gotta have to, I don't know. For me, I'm trying this little technique that maybe will trigger, as long as I know what the the over limit is, as far as like your waistline or whatever it may be, then I'm hoping that if they have a question of borderline, I'll be able to identify that if I know what the.
Well, yeah, that's what that doable brain dump thing has been. That's very, very helpful. But I'm just looking at, because she took that from that big biometrics thing, right, Phyllis? So I'm wondering, do you think we'll need to know more in depth on those? Do you think?
I don't know. I have worked on that for several weeks, trying to remember most of it. The risk factors, I find, they overlap.
Right.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's like, seriously, there was one of them, I don't remember which one now, maybe it's metabolic, where tobacco wasn't an issue. And I'm like, how come they left that off? I don't get that. But yeah, for the most part, I have tried to remember it all, but I'm not.
I was like that one question I think they asked us on one of those pre-tests about what is the one of the worst things you can do, or as far as disease starts or something like that. I can't remember how they worded it. And I thought, well, all of the reading that we had, and that seemed to be sugar was the worst thing, and it was the right answer. And I'm like, cool, because they talked a lot about sugar, like, because you're thinking, oh, sugar and smoking and drinking, but because sugar isn't everything and it affects everybody, because not everybody smokes, not everybody drinks, but sugar is, I thought, okay, cool. I got that one. I don't know, but anyhow.
Phyllis, can you, I don't know, I was trying to share my screen from a question, but
I'll fix it to where you can. Okay, now go.
Okay, so this is another legal thing, because I think it's just like so many random details that are annoying, but it says a coach is hosting a group session and has 8 clients in the room. The coach notices another client came in late to the room, and the coach states to the late participant, "Thank you for joining us. Can you stay on after the group session to reschedule your last appointment you missed so we can move forward with your goal to lose weight by your daughter's wedding?" I mean, it's obvious that you wouldn't want to say that, but then it's like the question is, which rule did the coach violate? And so minimum necessary rule, impermissible uses rule, access rule, or professional code of conduct.
I think it's A, right?
It is A, and that's
that was one. It was one of the
Facebook too.
Yeah,
and
that was.
I had to go back and look it up.
Yeah, that's what I did. I looked it up because I didn't see how that got into HIPAA, but so I had to look it up. And you guys remember what minimum necessary rule is?
No.
I wouldn't have until I went and found that I hadn't even printed up the summary of the HIPAA privacy rule.
So Jan, I think it is, if I'm saying it right, I think it's you're relaying information, you're only relaying the necessary information to perform whatever duties is that you need to. You're not giving out more information that's required. And so because they got into personal information as far as losing weight for the wedding, that would be
okay. Yeah, that makes sense, because I was sitting here going, she shouldn't have said that. That's kind of rude on top of it.
Yeah, that's a tricky one. I'm like,
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So I wrote crush in 95, go over.
I think that something that, like, if the coach would have been like, oh, can we reschedule a last appointment and just ended there, do you think that would be okay? Or is that still, because I think that doesn't give any health information away. It's just that.
Yeah, that would be fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's okay too. Or just ask her to stay afterwards so you can chat.
Yeah.
And I probably wouldn't even say anything in general, like out loud to the group. I would feel uncomfortable, like picking one person out that just walked in late. Hey, I need to talk with you.
And that is tough because it is also just not professional either. So you're
No.
like,
Oh, yeah.
like,
It's
it
like,
could be, it's not a very professional code of conduct either.
and maybe you wouldn't even say anything when they walk into the room if you've got something going on, right?
Mhm. You could just go up to them and like if they're doing like a little activity or right when you end, you can just go directly to them. I don't know. It just seems silly.
Well, yeah, on the side, you wouldn't even have to, you could just go like, well, okay, can you stay after at the end? We can chat or something.
I don't think the staying
Was
after
being-
part is it's just the wedding part. Like the
Mhm.
goal and the weight goal and the wedding part.
Right.
Yeah.
Were the B and C even actual things, or did they just make those up?
The impermissible uses rule and the access rule. I don't know. I was gonna look them up and see, are these, is there something like that? Yeah, that's a good idea.
I think access rule is one.
Yeah,
I think I don't know that there's like, I mean, they like link to other things, I think in the HIPAA where it's like impermissible use would be like that you are using like finding people's information or, you know, like doing
Right.
something that you're not supposed to with the information.
Oh, sharing the information, like that one gal took all of the people's emails because she's a belong and she was gonna email them all because I'm coaching this great thing or something. Is that like an impermissible use?
That's what I was thinking. Or access. I mean, they're kind of similar, but it's like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
yeah, I don't see them. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
This one has to keep coming in and out, which makes the dog bark.
You don't see any of those other ones?
I don't under the HIPAA summary, the privacy rule. I don't see it in there. I don't see them at least as subheads. So that doesn't mean they're not real. It's just I don't see them in the HIPAA privacy.
Well, we have a professional code of conduct. That would be
Well, yeah, but that's the code of conduct. That's not HIPAA.
right.
Mhm.
So I don't know that answer. That's so.
Yeah, or access rule. I don't.
Hmm.
Okay.
All right. Jan, do you want to go now or you want me to do mine?
You can do yours. I was hoping my printer would go, but it still hasn't printed up my thing. I have yours printed up, but not mine.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So I know I did too many, but I don't know. My brain couldn't.
Well,
wrap
you
it
made
around.
up for the one me who didn't make as many.
Well, so coaching structure. During the early sessions, the coach spends, and this was one of the subheads, the coach spends adequate time exploring the client's understanding of her health and wellness, so goals are not set prematurely. So the question is, Beth is a 35-year-old and a mother of 2 school-age kids. She's in her second coaching session with you. Her primary interest is weight loss, and she acknowledges that she has a poor self-image. Today, she reveals that she hasn't been to the doctor in over 7 years when her last child was born. She tells you she's never lost the baby weight and feels like she should lose 25 pounds or more. She's tried every diet on the internet with no success. So what concerns do you have for her as your coach, and what's your next step?
Seeing her self-esteem and her body image is pretty low.
Mhm.
And she hasn't been to the doctor in 7 years.
Yeah, that's the first one I put.
Well, that's true.
And that also I would ask like what kind of diets on the internet that she was following, because those can be crazy and not even beneficial for her.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. The self-image, the 25 pounds or more. There's a lot you could work on with this gal. And I mean, there's nothing concrete here. There's not like there's a real answer.
Yeah,
So,
you could use EPE as far as if her understanding what a sound, weight loss burn program is.
mhm. Yeah, but I'm with you all. The first thing would be not being to the doctor in 7 years. So my question would be there is, and I have done this with other clients who have said similar things if they haven't been to the doctor in several years. is my goal is to encourage them to get to a primary care. And
Yeah,
if-
so you don't know anything. She doesn't know any of her biometrics at this point,
Right.
right?
I've had one client, I mean, with weight loss, and that was over 300 pounds and hadn't been to the doctor in years because they didn't have health insurance.
Hmm.
But I mean, there could be physical reasons why this person couldn't lose weight. And if they don't go to the doctor and get their biometrics done, you're never going to know.
Right.
Yeah.
Considering it was, especially since it was right after her child was born, she could have had some things, resulting from childbirth that she doesn't even know about.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
like
like your-
it could be hormone imbalance right there.
Yeah, the thyroid or something, we don't know.
Be all kinds of things. So a basic, going to a doctor and just getting basic information. And you just have to help people understand that, so. Okay, what are the 3 types of goals? And it's a bonus if you can tell me where to find the information in the books, because I've been trying to find it. I know what the 3 types of goals are, but I can't find them in a book anywhere.
I don't really know the types of goals.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about that, what you meant.
Are they like
Yeah.
knowledge goals or what?
Actually,
Well,
I thought
they
that was
have
the same
different names.
question.
And that's my problem is in all my notes, I can't find which book it's in. There's performance goals, learning goals, and fulfillment
Oh,
goals.
okay. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And learning goals can be called process goals or behavior goals. And fulfillment goals can be called outcome goals.
Performance, learning, and what was the third one?
Performance, learning, and fulfillment.
Fulfillment.
But again, learning goals can also be called process or behavior goals.
Okay. And fulfillment goals, there's another name for those two?
Outcome.
Outcome. Oh,
So performance goals they're measured objectively. Like somebody says, I'm going to do yoga for 30 days. That's an objective measurement. So, and then learning goals are measured externally or internally. So it's like if you can master somebody that wants to be able to run a mile in 60 seconds. I don't know. I know that's not possible, but that would be a mastery of a skill.
Right. See, that's a type of question where, I drew a blank when you said it, but you give me some options, I'm gonna know what it is. You know what I mean? All right.
Well, that is one of those questions on the Facebook group, and that's why I got stumped on one of them the other day. And it's like, yeah, but now I can't find where to read about this more. So,
okay, learning.
and then fulfillment is the client's sense of satisfaction. So it's their outward measure of their own personal success, that they are personally fulfilled by completing it. At least that's the way I see it. So if anybody comes across the information when you're studying, will you just tell me where you find it?
Well, what are you looking more for, Phyllis? It sounds like you've identified it pretty well.
Yeah, but there's more in the book, and I just feel like I didn't get enough information, and I don't know now where to go back to find it. So I should write down where I find stuff, but I don't do that. And it's too late now. Okay, name the type of reflection. The type of reflection when you redirect attention away from resistance.
Shifted focus.
Yeah. And the type of reflection when you minimize or maximize what a client says he can't do.
This is the amplify.
Type of reflection when you restate what the client has said.
Simple.
Yeah. And the type of reflection when you help a client look at a different angle of what he has stated.
That was
Twist.
Sided.
I'm sorry?
Double-sided.
Double sided. Mhm.
Could it also, I was thinking about like the twist one. Because a different angle, I was thinking different angle was like double-sided is like saying you are stressed about working out, but you also know how is healthy for you. That's double-sided, but like a twist would be like you're looking for ways to get more active. Because I was thinking it was that one because it's a different angle than what they just said. But did you get that somewhere?
Would that be though your shifted reflection more? Because you're moving away from the negativity?
No, well, shifted is when somebody is reflecting some kind of resistance and you're just using the reflection to pull their attention onto something else
Right.
so that they don't keep a focus on the resistance, the negative talk.
I was also for that one, I was also thinking reframe, because if they give you a negative statement or they're resisting, you can reframe it to something positive.
Mm-hmm.
You can. It's just not a reflection. It's a reframe.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. And the twist, I think it's very possible too. I'm not sure if the twist is called a reflection. So I wouldn't swear to any of that. So.
Yeah, these are just what the notes I took, and these are they talked about the periscope, the concave mirror, the flat mirror, and the double-sided.
Isn't the shifted reflection a type of complex reflection?
A type of complex reflection?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I wrote down that there's the simple and complex reflections. Under the complex, there's the amplify, double-sided, and the twist. Because the simple reflection is basically just saying back what they said.
Right.
The complex one is like taking information and saying it to them, but in a different way than what they just said to you.
Right. And then it's there's different types. One is called shifting focus
For the double-sided one?
for the complex.
The complex is also shifted.
I don't remember a shifting reflection like by itself. Maybe that was a new term for me that you guys just put out there.
Okay, so the complex one would be amplified or?
Yeah, amplified. Here, I can try to find that.
That's what I was looking for too, is to try and find
So, yeah, so like I'm looking at a document right now, I just like Googled it or whatever. I'm looking at complex reflections and it has different types. Like you use a metaphor where you're painting a picture that can clarify the client's position. There's a shifting focus one where you can provide understanding for the client's situation and diffuse the score. So there's different types of complex reflections, but I don't remember shifted focus reflection. I don't remember that actual as a term as far as one of the primary reflections. I only remember double-sided, complex, simple, amplified, summarizing.
Oh, here it is, guys. Let me share my screen. It's from our class. What? Why is that?
Yep.
Why did it do that? Okay, anyway. So it's the one in the left corner, reflecting practice. What is the one before this? Simple reflection. Okay, yeah. So the one in the left corner says simple reflections is mirroring, and you basically say back what they say. And complex is this first one is a reframe. It says you are a healthy eater on weekends. The person might have said something, but you're reframing what they said in something positive. Then the second one is you're considering ways to eat healthy all week. And I think that's a twist because you take what they said. So here, okay, perfect. So it says, I know I need to exercise more. I'm so much happier and less stressed when I'm exercising regularly. The problem is that I'm so busy with work right now, the pressure of finding time to exercise is making me feel even more stressed. So a double-sided reflection would be, you feel too busy to exercise right now, and you know exercise makes you feel happier. The reframe reflection would be, you're an exerciser, and a twist is you're considering ways to fit exercise into your schedule.
Wow, that is just great. And that's back in our session, our learning. The chronic, is that under, that's in the advanced course, right?
Yeah, it's section 7, motivational interviewing.
That's really helpful.
Yeah,
I
because
looked
it's
at that.
interesting. I took the answers that I got were from notes from another book. So this makes it really difficult to say, well, okay, here are the 4 that this book says, and then Dr.
Right.
Spears is saying something else. So I'm sitting here going, so what
So
would
you guys had what? So remind me which one you had. Shift.
yeah, shifted focus attention for her first question was
Right.
what from the book that said.
So what would that be?
That's what I'm trying to figure out what it would be under how it, you know what I mean, in this one.
I would think
Is that
probably reframe or twist, because you're shifting by doing those two things, you're shifting their focus on negative to.
yeah, that's what I was thinking, maybe a reframe possibly, or the twist.
And then what was the
Okay, there's amplified.
Yeah, the second one was amplified. Minimize or maximize what a client says he can't do.
I feel like we went over that in our class too, so I don't think we have to worry about discrepancy there, I guess.
Yeah. But then how does it fit into this right here that you were talking about?
Well, I think it's just another, I don't know, let me see if it,
Oh, I got too much paper.
I know that we did go over it in our class somewhere.
There's the Muth book, the MUTH, the Muth book. On page 63, there was a summary of different types of reflections, which gets a little confusing, but that's why the amplified is an overstated reflection.
Yeah.
And then
All right. So the first one, the type of reflection when you direct attention away from resistance. So we're going with that. Is that reframing, or is that what we said? What you guys said? Shifted focus.
Shifted focus
Yeah,
attention.
shifted focus and reframing the same thing.
I think so.
Yeah, I thought. Yeah.
But then
Sounds-
what the second one, amplified, is
Well, amplified, I think we did in both, so we don't have to worry about
Yeah, we
another
got that
term. I
one.
think. Yeah.
simple is
Over-
straightforward.
yeah, overflated. Yeah. And then the simple reflection is just what they say back to you. That's pretty easy.
Right.
But that other one, the double-sided reflection, is that more complex?
Though, so there's two.
No.
Simple reflection is just the mirroring, and then complex are amplify, twist, reframe. Those are all,
Under that.
yeah.
Right. That's what I was.
Ah, okay, amplified, twist, and what's the third one?
Double-sided.
Reframe and double
Reframe. Oh, okay, so those 3 are under that kind of heading or something. And then so
because
double-sided reflection doesn't have another term, or is that it? I just want to make sure.
I think double sided is just normal. I'm just confused about the last one where, because it says a different angle than when he is stated, and I really do think it's twist, because when
I
you're
think
just
you're right.
giving back, like if you say a double-sided, you're just saying what he said together in an order rather than like, but the reframe or the twist is saying something completely kind of
Yeah.
implied of what he said.
Double-sided, you reflect both sides of the client's ambivalence.
Mm-hmm.
So if I say, like, I'm looking at an example here, it's a crazy example, but for double-sided, it's like, I don't like what smoking crack does to my health, but it really reduces my stress. And so you would say, on the one hand, crack brings you relief, but on the other hand, you're concerned about how smoking crack affects your health.
Mm-hmm.
You're just kind of repeating you're repeating what they said.
Come on. It relaxes me, but I know it's bad for me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's very helpful though, to go back and look at these, because I don't think I had thought about
Neither.
complex having the double-sided, the reframe, and the twist. So that's very helpful. I don't think I had put that together. Okay. Oh, wow. All right, let's move on. Let's see. Which of the following is true about activity tracking tools? And you can read that there. A is some of the features most important for client success or action, planning, implementation, environmental restructuring, and on for there. B is most apps provide full training plans, which is not true. Most apps are primarily designed for people just starting out with exercise, and only 10% of smartphone phone users have downloaded a fitness app.
A. What I put. I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but
That is correct. That came out of the Facebook group. Health and wellness, which is not true about how stress can have effects on your body. Your muscles tense up, your airway between your nose and lung constricts, blood vessels direct blood to the heart, they dilate, the hypothalamus signals the pituitary gland to produce a hormone to signal the adrenal gland, which is the HPA axis. It's a lot easier to say. Can trigger bloating in the gut, which is not true is the question. That key word, that word not, which is not true about how stress affects your body.
Is it?
Put B.
Yeah, because wait.
It does the opposite. Usually it increases your
Oh yeah, not slow breathing, it's fast breathing.
Yeah, I think you're correct, because all those other things do happen. Let's see, question 49. Client wants to start a health coaching with long-term goals of maintaining a healthy body weight, keeping healthy blood pressure, regular activities, support longevity for years to come. His main concerns is a family history of heart disease. What health conditions can increase his risk of heart disease? The triglycerides, not getting activity. B, eating a diet high in saturated fats. C, obesity, high blood pressure, diabetes, unhealthy blood cholesterol. D, tobacco and drinking, or E, all of the above.
E.
Yeah.
48, health-related quality of life and well-being are concepts that do not include which of the following? Positive emotions. B, physical, mental, and social functioning. C, a focus on physical and mental absence of disease. D, a focus on the impact health status has on the quality of life. Or E, a focus on disease resistance, resilience, and self-management.
tricky one.
I'm sorry?
That was a tricky one.
Yeah, it is tricky. And I might have to go back and look it up to tell you the truth. Because I didn't write it down. I don't think I did. Well, let's see. Okay, so the Healthy People 2020. That's where this comes from, right? So we know
Yeah.
positive emotions and life satisfaction are part of it. Physical, mental, and social functioning in supportive environments. We know that's part of it.
Yeah, I think I put E.
I think it's E too. A focus on the physical, mental absence of disease for longevity. Focus on the impact health status has, yeah, that's there.
Actually, I looked it up because I was kind of like confused on that.
Okay.
And they said it was C.
See,
And I was like, okay. So I think what they're looking at the health related quality of life. So they're not looking at, say, okay, just because this is just like an example, just because this person has poor eyesight doesn't mean they couldn't have a quality of life, or if they lost a limb. So we're not focusing on the physical and mental absence of disease for longevity and progress of life. That's, I think, am I saying that correctly?
That
Give
makes
you an example of that?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that makes sense.
I know
think-
I kept reading that last night. I'm like, but how they asked this question is terrible.
Yeah, when they said absence, I know the word, but I was like,
Yeah.
it didn't say like,
Yeah, that's again, that's where we've got to
It's
read.
a tricky one. It is. It's really tricky. And I'm sitting here going, okay. Because
But I
I
think it has to be C2 because the others are correct.
okay. They focus on disease resistance, resilience, and self-management. I thought, well, that's right. We want to self-manage, healthier and all that kind of stuff. So, okay. Ugh.
All right, here's a question that I wrote. A client is in his third coaching session. Sam's 48, stressful job, requires a lot of customer care. He's identified his goals to include weight loss and stress management. He has cleared out his pantry, gotten rid of all processed foods. He's expressed interest in learning more about a meditation practice. And Sam has told you plainly he's not giving up his cigars. So what stage of change is Sam in? And what do you say about his cigar habit?
I put multiple different stages for different things.
Go to.
So I put he was in action for weight loss.
Mhm.
I put pre-contemplation for tobacco use,
Yep.
and contemplation for stress management.
Yeah, because he wants to think about meditation.
Yeah.
And that's very common that our clients can be in different stages with different parts of their goals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that might be the first thing you work on then is the weight loss in this
Yeah.
scenario.
That's a good question because they could give us this all, but then say, just ask for one of those. They could say, they give you that whole thing, the whole spiel, but then they could say, all right, what are they in for tobacco use? And that's it. You got to forget about everything else.
Right.
Yep. Okay, so ethics legal, you ran into a friend. I made this one up. You ran into a friend, Carol, that you knew in college. She tells you her life's off track. Divorce finalized 6 months ago. She loves your job, recent promotion. Ask what you're currently doing, and you respond, you're a health coach. And she replies, oh, please, would you help me? I'm not sure where to turn, and I've got to make some changes. You can see for yourself that she's gained a significant amount of weight since college, but you remember that Carol had a substance abuse issue when she was younger. So how do you respond?
I think you say, I would love to help, but since we know each other, that would be kind of harder for me to coach you. And I think there's some things that you need more help on that I can't actually help you with. So like saying she probably would need to be referred to substance. Oh wait, no, she had it.
Right.
I don't know if she still does, but yeah, just say that like it's not, some things might be out of your scope of practice and you know her, so that's kind of conflict of interest kind of thing.
Is it though? I don't think
I was like, well, she hasn't seen her in a while, but my question would be if is in counseling or with some other person at this time because of her divorce that she's just gone through 6 months ago. I just went recently through a divorce myself. So I'm kind of thinking, yeah, these are great goals, but there's still grief and things you're working through in your life that I think she would need another person to help her. And also you're also wondering about her substance abuse, how are you going to ask her that question? Like, well, are you still using? I mean, so hopefully, maybe, who knows? I just think there should be. That was why I was kind of sort of a tricky. Haven't seen this person in a long
tricky.
time.
I didn't see anything wrong with it, to be honest with you. That was in college. I don't know how long ago that was,
Right.
You won't know that until you start
Talking
getting
to him.
process and doing open-ended questions and all that kind of stuff. So I don't see how that, majority of your clients are going to be because somebody knows you when you first start out.
Sure.
Right. And you're going to know them. So I don't think that I disagree that you would just turn her down just because of that. As you get to ask open-ended questions, then you might find that, no, she, is she dealing with, does she have any divorce issues, mental issues because of divorce? And all that
Going
kind
through some depression or
Right.
whatever. I mean, so yeah, that would be.
Now, if you did drugs together, and
I think you're both right. I think if from Emma's perspective, if she has she's got her boundaries set and she's ready to say that, I'm not going to coach anyone that I've known, I think she's right. She's right for her.
Sure. Uh-huh.
I think Will can be right too. You can see this gal and go, well, maybe I can help, because we have to remember we're not here to fix our clients, but we're here to help guide their behavior change so they can help fix themselves.
Exactly.
So we have to remember it's not up to us to fix them unless she still does have a significant substance abuse issue, which of course would be out of our scope of practice.
Yeah. That's why I just thought it would be good to know. Sounds like she's had some stuff from here though to think about, just to start coaching her. I think we need to know a little more information.
Well, and that's where a discovery call might come in. I don't think, meeting somebody on the street, you get into this stuff, but you have a separate professional discovery call, and then you can.
That's the word I was trying to think of last night. I couldn't think of it.
Yeah, I think you could buy yourself a little time to think it through. But I
Right.
respect Emma's response too. If that's what you've set up and you've got your standard response, and that's what you do.
Well, she's really young here. She could just have a friend from college that she just.
No, it's true. It would be very different than my friend from college.
Exactly. I mean, I graduated over 30 years ago from college. So, I really don't know what's been going on in her life or how she is, or she's a totally different kind of person. So I got it, Emma. Okay. Well, I don't know how my questions are, but I can read these. So anyhow. So I tried to take one from each area. That's what you were wanting. So number one, what is not a good mindfulness listening tip below? Okay, A, pause after the client has spoken. Think about what you're going to say next. Weave the client's story into later steps. Listen to emotions as well as facts, or mirror what the client has said to confirm you understand.
B as in boy.
Yep. That's a real tough one, huh? But I thought it was good just to bring them all out to remind us of what, we should know, right?
Well, it's good to go to all these basics. We can't assume we remember it all.
Yeah. Okay, number two, which of the tools listed below would help you with MI? Decisional balance, rulers, use of hypotheticals, remember the rule and weight, or E, all of the above.
I have to be honest, I don't remember use of hypotheticals.
I also don't remember what rule and weight is.
Rule and weight I remember, because weight is me. Why am I talking? That's what weight stands for.
Oh.
I put E.
And rule is resist the writing reflex, is pretty much what that one's about.
Oh, good to know.
Yeah. See, I got lots of it. Actually, do you have a tip?
Put E.
Yeah, it's E.
But what is the use of hypotheticals? I'm sorry, I just don't remember what that is.
I have to go back.
Yeah, I didn't remember that, but I just used what I thought was common sense, that you would say something
Yeah.
like, well, kind of like the 3 wishes and things like that.
That's
like,
what it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's what it
Okay.
is. Mhm.
All right. Well, 3 wishes, I understand. Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Exactly. All right. This one's kind of funny. Okay. Who developed the illness wellness continuum and said wellness is a process, not a static state? Abraham Maslow, Lewis Robbins, John Travis, or James Prochaska?
Travis.
Just think that's something I know they're going to ask us. Maybe not that, but they're going to ask us about it. So that might be just something to go back over. I wasn't trying to sure how to ask questions about that illness wellness wheel. I'm like, or continuum thing,
Mhm.
but it would be a good thing to probably review.
It's the direction you're facing.
Huh?
The direction you're facing is what's most important.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, looking at the thing, right? Mhm. Well, there was something in there about it that, and it kind of, I don't know if we just read it recently, but I thought that was really good because some people's illness could be, they could still be look good from the outside and all that other stuff, but they still have illness because of their mental health. Or, you know what I mean? There's other kind of illness in the, anyway. In health coaching, there are certain standard of ethics we need to be accountable to. Of the following, which one is something a health coach should not do? Okay, A, proper training and ongoing education. B, client's privacy to be respected through strict adherence to confidentiality. C, accepting gifts like a trip out of town from a client is acceptable. D, referring a client for something out of a coach's scope and practice. E, when a client shares that she feels like hurting herself, a coach should break the confidentiality rule.
I was thinking the trip one, because I mean, we talked about the gifts, and I guess it's kind of determined by what you want, but it's kind of a really big, a trip out of town is kind of a lot.
Yeah.
And everything else is something you can do. So that's
Yeah.
just how I found out.
Yeah. All right. Okay, this one was taken from the Facebook group. It says, which factors have the most effect on the goals that a person chooses? A, confidence and planning. B, breaking the goal down into small steps. And why did I write and having a coach? Oh, yeah, with the coach, I guess. C, importance of the goal and the belief that it is attainable. D, self-efficacy and access to resources. Or E, what stage of change the client is in and coach's acceptance.
See, right? Is that C?
Mhm. Yep. Importance of the goal and the belief that it is attainable. Okay.
Yeah, I missed that one. All right.
Although I think the first time I answered it, I put E, what stage of change the client is in and the coach is. Why did I put that? I don't know.
I mean, I think some of them I got caught on that too, because there's like the last one says coach's acceptance. And so I think I was like, it's not always about what you think, right? So
I think I was thinking about at the time, we want to believe our coach that they can do it as much as possible, that we're going to be there for them, even though they don't. So that's why maybe I was thinking of that at the time. So, but yeah, it's actually what they believe is more important than anything, for sure, if they're going to do it. So, all right.
Wow. I just wish this was over. All I can think is I wish this was over.
Well, you're going to be able to say that next Thursday if we happen to get together, but we're not. But it'll be cool.
Well, yeah, we're not next Thursday.
I know. So the 12th is like, cool. She's out of here.
Well, but we have our get together at the end of the month. So I already sent that out. So y'all should have seen that on Zoom.
That's the 28th.
It's a Thursday.
Yeah, I think it's the 28th.
Let's see. Yes.
Okay, cool.
Thursday the 28th at 2 Eastern.
All right. All right.
Yep.
Let's get together.
All right, friends. Any other thoughts or comments or
No, good luck, everyone.
You too. Good luck, you guys, this
Yeah.
week. Be thinking for you hard, praying.
We'll be doing that for everybody, but yeah. So yeah. Once it's over, you won't have to
Yeah.
sit and study every friggin' weekend.
I know I got 2 more weekends to study, I guess. So yay. You'll say, Jan, you need to be studying this, this, and this.
I don't think we could tell you because they tell you it's all different.
I know. Yeah. Well,
You could be
Any
sitting
tips?
beside somebody else and your test from that person would be a different test. So
yeah. I don't even think when I go over there will be anybody else testing the same kind of test that I have. I just, because it's such a small room that I go, I think maybe 14 people are in there.
mine only has seating for 7.
Okay, well, maybe it only, I think it looked like 14, but maybe it'll only be enough for 7 because like you said, every other person. Have you guys checked out where your test is going to be or?
Yeah, I haven't checked mine out yet. I'll probably do that tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going on Saturday. My test is on Tuesday, so it's just like 15 minutes away though, so it's not
Oh,
horrible.
that's not so bad. Yeah,
Oh,
mine's,
that's nice. That's not
yeah,
so
mine's
bad.
45 minutes away.
Yeah, mine is 20 minutes away. If-
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, that's why I did an afternoon one because I just said there's no way I'm getting my daughter off to her program and trying to